One day, you're going to die. I'm sorry you had to find out like this, but it's true. You and everyone you love will also be gone, forgotten forever. Now that that's out of the way, we can talk a little bit about life. A long time ago, there was nothing. No time, no space, and no YouTube videos to watch while you ate. But then, out comes everything. Stars, planets, dinosaurs, and finally, you. The culmination of 14 billion years of existence, all wrapped up in a self-aware meat sack that has a name, student debt, and existential dread. The truth is, no one knows what the fuck is going on. Not your parents, not the stoner philosophy subreddit, and definitely not this guru telling people that water has memory. In reality, we're all just equally clueless bags of meat floating through consciousness before we eventually return to the void. Now, assuming you live in a relatively civilized society, we live in a time where we don't have to worry about being chased by tigers or eaten by vultures. Modern life takes our attention away from our survival needs and gives us time elsewhere in life. And living like this has many advantages. For example, we can focus on our careers or pick up hobbies, or we can even sleep for an entire day. Whatever you want to do, this is the time to do it. So, modern life has given us time, but time has given us questions. It starts small, like, did I brush my teeth before bed? But it gets bigger. Do my friends hate me? And then it gets heavier. Will I ever be successful? And that's the thing. Because our survival no longer keeps us up, our questions do instead. So, it's a mystery, something we might never be able to crack. We don't know why we're here or where we're going, and that is a depressing truth. It makes you wonder what you're even doing anything for. What's the point if we're just going to die? But fear not, because we have some options. Number 1. Desperately try to find answers. Read through every philosophy book, watch every TED Talk, cling on to religion or science, and try to logic your way out of it. Spiral into the pits of meaninglessness daily until your body reminds you that it's time to take a shit. Number 2. Be depressed about the meaninglessness of it all and float through life like a robot. Take minimal care of your mind and body. Why bother otherwise? You're gonna end up in the grave anyway. Or, number 3. Realize yes, it is meaningless, but say fuck it, I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm gonna make my bed, brush my teeth, and go for a walk. I'm gonna learn, laugh, and lift heavy shit. Personally, having gone through the first 2 options and enjoying scrolling through Reddit at 3 AM less and less each time, I choose option 3. Not because life makes sense, but exactly because it doesn't. Maybe meaning isn't something we find. As the alcoholic British man puts it, meaning is a jumper you have to knit yourself. There's too much pressure on finding your purpose, but it doesn't have to be that difficult. Maybe meaning is something as simple as cleaning your room. Maybe meaning is going to bed early because you have a big day tomorrow. Meaning doesn't have to be some divine scripture handed to you by Jesus himself. It's something that you yourself can discover in every moment. There's a story in Greek mythology about Sisyphus, the king of Ephora. After tricking the gods, he was punished to roll a boulder to the top of a hill, only to watch it roll back down again for the rest of eternity. When Albert Camus talks about Sisyphus, he says that one must imagine Sisyphus happy. But how? Just like Sisyphus, we have our own boulders, the grind of a degree, the milestone of marriage and kids, the corporate ladder. After one is pushed to the top, we push another. But we don't realize that the to-do lists will never end. The next projects will always come, and the finish line keeps moving. We think that once we land that job or get in shape, we can finally start living. But this is wrong. Instead of reaching some point at which life will be unlocked and you can finally start living, why not hand yourself the key now? Even though Sisyphus is pushing up a boulder for literally the rest of time, Camus says that the struggle itself is enough to fill his heart, because all he knows is the process. And if Sisyphus can do it, then we can do it too. So, getting to the point. I think it's pretty simple really. The meaning of life is to live. Profound, I know. I've heard this from a lot of people over the years, and I could just never get behind it. The meaning of life is to live? Yeah, no shit. But what's the deeper purpose? What are we here for? But that is the issue. It's this search for meaning. I've been looking everywhere for some grand, one-size-fits-all answer, but I keep coming back to the same one. If the meaning of life is literally to live, it means everything, from the mundane, everyday things like eating and sleeping, to the existential like self-actualization. There is no one grand purpose. If life itself is the meaning, then meaning isn't something you find, it's something you do. In other words, meaning isn't a noun, it's a verb. So to help me live, I've been working on the simplest yet hardest practice, changing my mindset. Instead of rushing to get to the next thing, I'm fully experiencing whatever activity it is that I'm currently doing. Because after all, life is what you do every day, so it's the little things that matter. Whatever it is, whenever I catch myself speedrunning the task, I deliberately slow down, mentally and physically. And to help with this, I've come up with some ideas. I've set up reminders around the house on sticky notes, I go for walks without any music, I practice mindfulness, and sometimes I even eat without a YouTube video. Nah, I'm just kidding, that's impossible. Modern life is filled with so many distractions that you have to re-distract yourself into direction. And for any goal, the pursuit is the main part, so why would you not live it? Just remember that the process is in the present. You don't want to mentally live in the past or future when the magic is happening now. Of course, this is not going to be easy. This won't solve all your problems, and that's not the point of this video. Some days will suck. You'll feel lost, tired, or broken. You'll sit on the main menu wondering why video games are so boring now. But other days, you'll feel the sun on your face, you'll laugh hard at some dumb meme, or land the perfect drift in Forza Horizon 5. And notice how in those moments, you aren't looking for meaning anymore. That's because you're living it. You are the meaning. So instead of treating life like a problem to solve, treat it instead like a reality to experience. The good, the bad, the insane, the meh, know that everything that happens is part of the deal. So am I saying don't be ambitious, let everything just happen, and just float through life with no backbone? No, quite the opposite. There's going to be times where emotion is necessary, or when you need to put yourself first, and when you need to consider the consequences of your actions. This whole idea of being present in the process means not to take everything so seriously, to stay in the moment, to take it step by step, and to forget the finish line. So, if you're watching this in the middle of an existential crisis, welcome. What I said here won't end your troubles, but maybe it'll help you face them. There's tons of life philosophies out there, each one contradicting the next. Different ones work for different people, and even different versions of yourself. The trick is to take what resonates with you and just dump the rest. This is what works for me, and I hope it works for you. Just remember that it is a privilege to be able to ask these questions. Anyway, I've been at my desk for too long. It's time to take a shit.